Well, unfortunately, Bill Maher died a couple weeks ago after a long and tragic battle with irrelevance. And I can remember a new rule he did. This is years ago. This is more than 10 years ago, where Newsweek was trying really hard to stay alive and get new subscribers. And they ran a headline saying, "Heaven is for real." And it was some kind of proof about heaven. This was obviously desperate. This was trying to get people in. And he had a new rule saying, "Better dead than sad." And it was basically about rather than compromise everything you've ever believed in to try to chase people and keep something going that it's time for it to go, it's okay to die. It's okay to go away. And I feel the exact same way, Bill. I really do, because the worst thing that can happen to you is not dying or actually getting canceled. He's been worried about cancel culture for 20 years. Well, it sure does move slow because he's had the same damn show for 30 years. Whereas Conan O'Brien and Jay Leno and David Letterman, all the people he started with, they've all come and gone from several different shows, and he's changed one network in 30 years of being on television, which is kind of rare. All the people who are not offensive at all, they've all lost their jobs, and he's still there. So rather than see him become increasingly sad, I think it's time that he's dead and moved on. Coming to the White House to lick Trump's boots, that was the final straw, because for years he's been a never-Trump Republican. Basically, from the moment he put on his glasses, he transitioned from center-left to never-Trump Republican, and then now he's not even that anymore. Talking about Trump's not crazy and then sane washing him at the White House. Dinner with Dana White and Kid Rock just to get all the relics of the past. You know, Bill Maher and Trump, they are relics from the 80s and 90s, and so I guess they wanted extra relics around them just to make themselves feel better. And then just to prove that he's gone full MAGA, basically, even though he won't ever admit that because he doesn't want his full audience to be like, this is it. We can't support this guy. This is basically Fox News. He bitches and whines more about diversity and inclusion and political correctness and wokeness than he ever has hit Trump or anybody else. He's had people like Ron DeSantis and Ted Cruz and Elon Musk on, and he's barely challenged them on a damn thing just to fully prove that he's no longer the man he was. The same show where he talks about going to the White House, Trump's not crazy and sane washing Trump. He has Pierce Morgan and Steve Bannon on as the guests. So now that we know that he's fully dead, who should replace him? And I think it would be great for Jon Stewart to make the transition from Comedy Central over to HBO to do the weekly show like he was doing The Problem on Apple, but HBO offers him more freedom. He can talk about more stuff they did over there. Real Time with Jon Stewart would be great. It'd be right next to his buddy John Oliver, the best show in late night television, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Jessica Williams, at one point, she was hosting Two Dope Queens as a TV show with her friend Phoebe Robinson. She really should have hosted The Daily Show when Trevor Noah took it over. So rather than have Jessica Williams host The Daily Show, which she still could do and should do, maybe she could host Real Time with Jessica Williams. But I think possibly the best choice out there is a woman who now unfortunately doesn't have a late night talk show, Ziwe. And she was so good on her Showtime show, and it's the kind of making guests uncomfortable thing that Bill Maher does pretty well. I thought at one point she might be a good host for The Daily Show until Jon Stewart decided, no, I'll be one of those media people who hangs around a job way too long and I'll stay past my 1 year contract. I'll just hang around here forever. I want to push Biden out the door and say Biden should step down and move out the way, but I don't myself want to do that. And so he's staying at The Daily Show. So Ziwe can't move up and take that job like she should. So why not Ziwe? Why not Real Time with Ziwe Fumodoh? That would be perfect.